Hello, Hare Krishna. My name is Gadidas, and I run the Murari Vrindavan Kirtan Sanctuary in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Many of you have been here, and I hope had an enriching time. But I'd like to explain a little bit about this Bhagavad Gita, because I am technically a little, let's say, undertrained on using some of these technological tools. But I'm trying to learn, and I will be trying to explain to you the essence of what this Bhagavad Gita is about. I'm doing this, or say, a review on the past three classes that we have already had, so that you can kind of catch up. I know there's some people who have missed the first three classes, and therefore I'm going to try to catch you up on that. So, first thing we have to learn is, why do we call this Bhagavad Gita as it is? Well, as it is means, as it was spoken 5,000 years ago to Arjuna. Arjuna is Krishna's friend, and they are on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, about to engage in a ghastly war. And Arjuna is not very, let's say, enthusiastic about engaging in this war. The Bhagavad Gita, as it is, means it's Krishna's words, just like Krishna's words and Arjuna's words, just as they spoke it 5,000 years ago. Without interpretation, just taking it directly as it is. So we can start there. I want to also, just as a side note, let you know that I have been initiated by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, since 1971. It was one of the, not just one of the, it is definitely the best choice I have ever made. Because you get initiated into the Harinam Sankirtan, or the chanting of the holy names. The chanting of the holy names is so powerful that over the course of time, everything changes in the heart. The heart becomes soft. Krishna agrees to show himself. So these things all can really take place. I want you to understand that. So I am not a professional reciter. I just want to give you my realizations, try to impart what I have experienced into your heart, so that we can all benefit as much as possible. So we're going to start in the introduction. I'm going to pause this just for a minute. So in this Bhagavad Gita, which is right behind me, we will start with Prabhupada's introduction. And I would just like you to maybe see what Srila Prabhupada looks like, if I can possibly find a way to do that. Anyway, I'm going to start. Well, like I said, my skills with this particular technology is quite limited. I am learning, but it's going to take a little time, because I also have a resistance. The resistance is natural. You're not growing up with these materials and these features of life. It's very beautiful, can be very helpful, but I'm not that as familiar as certainly you are at a younger stage. The children and the young people, they can take this so easily. But I'm going to read from the last page of the introduction of Srila Prabhupada's introduction. And I'll try to get his picture up later, okay? Where Prabhupada says, Sarvadhamam parityagam mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam sarve papibhyo mokshishami ma suchaha. Where the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is this: surrender, give up all varieties of religiousness. Give up all varieties and just surrender unto me, Krishna says. And in return, I shall protect you from all sinful reactions on this battlefield. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Thus, the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him. He indemnifies him from all reactions of sin. Indemnifies, that's like having a really, really super good insurance company. Man, they back up everything. They know exactly what you need. They know exactly what to do, and they know exactly how to enact everything. So we understand that Krishna is behind everything. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead behind us. So if he says, "Just surrender unto me, and I shall protect you from everything," then we can have faith that this is the truth. So Arjuna also had to make that same choice in a very, very difficult situation. He did not want to fight. He was a very completely capable, expert warrior. So we want to read the last two paragraphs of this introduction, and where Prabhupada uses a poetic expression to describe the situation. The Bhagavad Gita is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna is a cowherd boy, and he's milking this cow. The milk is the essence of the Vedas. The essence, the Bhagavad Gita is the essence. Why? Because it comes to that point of surrender. The milk is the essence of the Vedas, and Arjuna is like the calf who is being nurtured by this knowledge that is being given by Krishna. The wise men, the great sages, and pure devotees are to drink this nectarian milk of the Bhagavad Gita. And the last paragraph is, in this present, and this is Prabhupada's love coming out. This is not a dogmatic, fanatic type of statement. It's just his love that if everybody can understand this and take advantage of becoming Krishna's devotee and serving Krishna and find your whole life becoming sublime, why not? So he has a love for all creatures and all human beings. So he naturally wants everyone to be able to take advantage of this Bhagavad Gita. So he says, in this present day, man is very eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. So let that one common scripture for the whole world be the Bhagavad Gita. And let there be one God for the whole world, Lord Sri Krishna. And let there be one mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And let there be only one work, only the service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this ends the introduction, a very beautiful introduction. So we're going to move into chapter 1, which is observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And the first one we have to take note of is the incredible amount of warriors that are assembled there. And at the beginning of every great battle in India, there is the blowing of conch shells and instruments and so forth. And so this is going to take place. And Sanjaya is Dhritarashtra's secretary, and he has the capability of seeing mystically from his heart. He can see the battlefield. He can see what Krishna is doing. He can see what Arjuna is doing. He can see what Duryodhana is doing. He can see what everybody is doing. And he's reporting it by his mystic vision. He's reporting this to his master, Dhritarashtra. And he's talking about all the great personalities who are assembled. And the sounding of the conch shells. So the sounding of the conch shells. I'll read text number 12. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, like the sound of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. And after that, the conch shells, the bugles, the trumpets, the drums, and the horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Now on the other side, Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on the great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Then Lord Krishna blew his conch shell, the Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Deva Datta. And Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Panjram. The blowing of these different conchas became uproarious, and thus, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. But Arjuna, being soft at heart and curious as to how this is all going to play out, he asked Krishna, he says, "My dear infallible one." He already knows who Krishna is. My dear infallible one. You know, who is infallible in this world? There's no one who is infallible. Everyone, we must commit mistakes, which is also told to us in the introduction. "O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see who is present here and who is desirous of fighting and with whom I must contend in this great battle attempt. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra." And who is that? Duryodhana. Sanjaya said, "O descendant of Bharata," being thus addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and other chieftains of the world, Hrishikesh, Lord Krishna said, "Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus are assembled here." And then Arjuna could see, within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, his grandfathers, his teachers, his maternal uncles, his brothers, his sons, his grandsons, his friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers. They were all present there. Now, when the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke to Krishna. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth is drying up. My whole body is trembling and my hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning." "I am unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I foresee only evil, O killer of the Keshi demon. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness." O Govinda, to what avail to us are kingdoms, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Krishna, when teachers, fathers, sons, and grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-laws, grandsons, brothers-in-laws, and all relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, then why should I wish to kill them, though I may survive? O maintainer of all creatures, I am not prepared to fight with them, even for the exchange of the three worlds, let alone this earth. Sin will overcome us if we slay these aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What could we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? And Arjuna goes on to talk about the destruction of the family, because in such a great battle like this, the men, many, many men are killed, and their women are left behind as spoils of war. And what happens to them is they're subject to irreligious activities, and they produce unwanted progeny, which is, as we see, if the proper samskaras are not followed to produce good progeny, according to the Vedas, then you have what's called unwanted progeny, varna sankara. So we want to try to produce children who become spiritual leaders and not cats and dogs. And unfortunately, in this country, because the women have been so mistreated, they are so disillusioned, they are so disappointed in the men. They've been taken advantage of in every way possible. They are very angry, and they have created a population, a progeny, which are also very angry, because whatever the mother is thinking and feeling, that will go into the psychology of the child. So we want to understand how that we can change this course of Kali Yuga. It's not easy, very, very difficult time. There are so much disappointed, there are so many disappointed souls. And the women, the children, everyone is so unhappy because materialism simply does not produce happiness. So Arjuna goes on with these arguments. So he goes on, he says, I would consider it better for the sons of Dhritarashtra just to kill me, unarmed, unresisting, rather than to fight with them. Sanjaya said, this is the moderator now, speaking to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya says, Arjuna, thus having spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. And that ends the first chapter. And chapter 2 is called The Contents of the Gita Summarized. Sanjaya continues speaking to Dhritarashtra. Seeing Arjuna full of compassion and very sorrowful, his eyes brimming with tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Now Krishna is about to give Arjuna transcendental solutions to his dilemma. He's about to become awakened out of the bodily concept of life. And so this is very, very important to understand. This contents of the Gita Summarized is all about how we are not these material bodies, how we are the living force, eternal living force inside these bodies. And we transmigrate from body to body, life after life after life, according to our activities and the things that we have accumulated or accrued, good or bad reactions that come along with living in this life, the things we've done that were good things and things we've done which are bad things. And everybody knows what that is in their own lives. The Supreme Lord, Sri Bhagavan Krishna, said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to the higher planets, but to infamy. O son of Prita, Arjuna, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up this petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjuna said, Krishna, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? Imagine someone that you hold in such high esteem, and Krishna is asking you to go into battle to kill them. Not an easy task. And so Arjuna goes, text number 5, it is better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though they may be avaricious, they are nonetheless my superiors, and if they are killed, our spoils will be tainted with their blood. And nor do I know which is better, conquering them or being killed by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we killed, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this battlefield. And here's where Arjuna comes to the point of accepting Krishna as the first layer of surrender, accepting Krishna as his spiritual master, as his instructor. Now, Krishna, text number 7, famous verse. Now I am confused about my duty. I have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, Krishna, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So this is the beginning of one's desire to become enlightened by accepting the spiritual master, a qualified person who can actually impart real knowledge into your heart. And that's what Srila Prabhupada has given us. He has given us the answers to all of these questions. And the power of the holy name, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, is so powerful that it purifies the heart and the minds so that these instructions become realized. So I'm hoping when I speak to you, I am not speaking intellectually. I'm speaking from my experience and my realizations so that you can also take advantage of that. Otherwise, my life is rather useless because anybody can give you intellectual knowledge. But you need a person who can actually point you and, let's say, mold you into that pure personality that you actually are underneath all of these layers and layers of material life. So please, let me try to come forward and do something significant for you. Hare Krishna. Arjuna continues, I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to destroy it, even if I win an unrivaled kingdom on the earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Sanjaya now says to Dhritarashtra, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. So Krishna is going to put forth some very transcendental, significant answers and solutions to Arjuna's dilemma. And Sanjaya is still speaking. He says, O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of the armies, both the armies spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. The blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Each of these verses requires some thought and some meditation. Now Krishna says, never was there a time when I did not exist. Nor you, Arjuna, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A self-realized soul is not bewildered by this change. Dehinosmin yata dehi, kavram javram jara. Matra spashas tu kanteya shitoshna sukadukata. Agama payino nityastam tatikshasva Bharata. Krishna continues to speak. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They simply arise from sense perception, O Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. O best among men, Arjuna, Krishna is still speaking, the person who is not disturbed by happiness or distress is steady in both, is certainly eligible for liberation. Well, it's very easy to not be disturbed by happiness. How can you become disturbed by happiness? Happiness is something that everyone strives for. We're anandamoya. We are pleasure-seeking at every moment. So when we get happiness, it's very easy to tolerate. But when we get into a miserable, difficult, almost catastrophic situation, it's much more difficult to tolerate because of our attachment to this material world and because of our attachment to our material bodies and to the material bodies who are I am responsible for in this material world. The material bodies that I created, material bodies that came before me, my grandfather, great-grandfathers, and mothers, and so forth. Very difficult when it becomes a miserable situation. A lot more difficult to tolerate than happiness. Text number 16. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. This seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. That means what is non-existent is actually our entire material environment. This body itself is non-existent. Why? Because it's not permanent. That's what's not existent. In this context, non-existent means that which is not permanent. So if you study everything in this material world is not permanent. This computer that I'm looking into right now is not permanent. My desk is not permanent. My scarf is not permanent. My body is not permanent. So it doesn't really exist in one sense. It's because it changes state. In due course of time, everything changes state. And of the existent, there is no cessation. That means that which is actually eternal and permanent never ceases to exist. Thus, seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. Avinashi tu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayashyashya na kashchit kartum ahati. Krishna says, no, that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. How do you realize that? Yeah. You are also eternal. You have always been. Nothing has killed you, ever. Eternally, a non-destructible soul is what you are. Nothing can kill you. The body, yes, temporary. It's not real, non-existent. But the soul is existent. The soul is permanent. The soul is you, that person. And no one can kill that soul. No one can kill you. Can kill your body, but they cannot kill you. You are the life force, and that life force is eternal, and it transmigrates into another body. Atavanta ime deha nityash yokta sharirina. Only the material body of the indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal living entity is subject to destruction. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata. And Krishna keeps continually giving his arguments. Krishna says, he who thinks that the living entity is the slayer, or that he is slain, does not understand. For one who is in knowledge knows that the self slays not, nor is slain. In other words, if I'm in battle and I have to kill someone, the body that I have is not really killing that other body. I can't slay anyone because the soul in that body is just as eternal as the one that's in my body, just as permanent and indestructible as the soul that is in my body. So we want to understand that I can't possibly kill anyone. I can kill the body. You can destroy the body. You can burn it. You can cut it up. You can chop. So many different ways you can kill the body. But you can't kill something which is not killable. And so the soul, being indestructible, is not killable. Neither are you. So therefore, you're starting to get the picture now, where Krishna is putting everything in a very transcendental state. Yajayate Mariate Vakadachin. This is Krishna still speaking. Nityam Bhutva Bhavitana Vanu Bhuyaha. Ajo Nitya Shashvato Yam Purano. Nahanyate Hanyamanre Sharire. For the soul, Krishna says, there is never birth or death, nor having once been, does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, undying, primeval, and he is not slain when the body is slain. So now we begin to see just how transcendental this Bhagavad Gita is as it is. Just like Krishna spoke it to Arjuna, Arjuna giving the questions, giving the reluctance to fight. So we're going to stop here. This is kind of catching up to where we are. But I'll read a few more verses and then kind of wind it up so that you can digest some of this incredible transcendental knowledge, please. Oh, Arjuna, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, unborn, eternal, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? As a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, similarly the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. This body goes through 6 stages: is birth and growth, a maturation, a giving off of some byproducts, deterioration, and finally extinction. So we need to understand that as this body goes through its transformations, that it transfers into another body at the time of death. Now, I'm going to end here, because you just don't want this next body to be, you don't want it to be another material body. You can free yourself, as Krishna is teaching Arjuna how to free himself to become a liberated soul. Krishna is teaching Arjuna how to become a liberated soul, and even though he's going to go out and do ghastly deeds on the battlefield, because he's doing it all for Krishna's service. He's doing it on behalf. He's obeying the orders of his spiritual master. And at the end, the final surrender is that he realizes that, no, you are not just my spiritual master. You are the ultimate spiritual master. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. And I'm going to surrender to you fully and carry out your orders. So we'll stop here at this time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I just want you to know that my spiritual master, he made us promise to chant 16 rounds a day. Now, a round takes about everywhere between 6 to 10 minutes, depending on who's chanting. And a minimum, that's the minimum, 16. That takes about 2 hours, could be 3 hours. So at this point in my surrender to him and to Krishna, I moved that to 32 rounds. So I'm chanting 32 rounds. So I want you to know that I'm serious, and I'd like you to become a little serious too. Please forgive me if I somehow offended anyone in this little Bhagavad Gita clip, but I'm only trying to put forth what I know, what I've realized, and to try and share that extraordinary transcendental love and compassion that my spiritual master has for every living entity. I am just his instrument. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.